Good afternoon. This is a bit of a update video and introduction to another new project and a few things I've got coming up. So yeah, the last what is it today? The 12th, 13th, no, 13th of February. The last 3, 4, maybe 5 months have just been really busy, really busy. I shouldn't complain. I've had speaker upon speaker upon speaker arrive here, and it's quite humbling really that I continue to get this support and all these speakers to work on and that kind of thing, and they continue to come in, and I've sort of caught up a little bit today, and there are a few other things I was going to do today, a few other client speakers and some measuring, but it's 1 o'clock. I've had enough today, and tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so I'm using that as an excuse to have a day off. So yeah, I'm kind of caught up as much as I need to be. Next week is half term, so I doubt I'll do a huge amount then as well. But yeah, just a bit of an update really. So this is going to be one of my own projects, and I'll probably turn these around quite quickly. My last project video was on the big Dynatron, or were they Dynavox? Dynatron speakers. And the idea of those was to fit a KEF B200 woofer in the front with a 16 ohm HF 1300 and Coles super tweeter, and then at the back a KEF passive bass radiator. One of these. Unfortunately, I had to use those woofers on a pair of KEF cadenzas I've recently refurbished for someone, and also one of the bass radiators in there had gone really saggy and horrible, so I ended up fitting my two. So I don't have, well, I do have a couple of pairs of B200s that I could still use, but I'm without these, and the idea of that project really was to fit these at the back. So I've kind of shelved that project at the moment because I might use different drivers in it. I might come up with a new idea because they're big cabinets, and I might be wasting them slightly having just a single B200 in there. They're big enough to have like two 8-inch woofers, or maybe 110, and then dome mid-range or something, become a 3-way. So I don't know. And I've got a few other cabinets and things kicking around in the stores that I'm going to turn into speakers as well. So I'm hoping I can get back on track and then start to do my one-off builds as well, because I really enjoy doing that. You're kind of creating a speaker really from scratch. All the crossover voicing work, you know, initial design, and then listening to them, going back to the measurements and the crossover design if you need to, and tweaking them, and then I normally enjoy them for a month and then I sell them on, and I always do quite well out of the one-off builds. So I do want to focus my attention a little bit on that. The repairs, I enjoy doing the repairs, but they do get repetitive, you know. There's the same speaker comes in over and over again. You sort of like, you can't almost do it with your eyes shut, but you know, was it they say a change is as good as a rest, that sort of thing. So yeah, I want to concentrate on some of my one-off builds. My HA series are beginning to gain momentum. I have done nothing in terms of advertising those. I must do that if I want that to turn into something. But all the feedback from the pairs that have sold and are out there have been amazing, really has. So yeah, I want to focus on that a bit as well. But anyway, one thing I've always wanted to do, excuse me, apparently there's this cold going around our area called the 100-day cough. And it certainly feels like that. I've got it, the missus has got it, Litland's got it, I've just had my hair cut, the hairdresser's got it. Yeah, anyway. So one thing I've wanted to do for a while is do a big woofered two-way, and last Sunday I think it was, I was scouring eBay like you do, and these came along. They are a pair of Wharfedale Melton 2s. Melton, what does that mean? So yeah, I've picked them up because they have a really big, lovely paper cone woofer. Where's my tape measure? Where's my tape measure gone? There it is. And these are, well, the cutout's 11 inches. I wouldn't call that a 12-inch woofer. I wouldn't call it a 10 either. So yeah, an 11. But yeah, I want to do something with a nice big paper cone woofer that you wouldn't expect to use right up into the mid-range. There's a number of speakers that I'm a fan of that use 12-inch woofers, and they are a two-way. So I want to do something with these. I'm not going to turn them into a three-way. I'm probably going to go down the route of either a small coned mid-tweeter and then a super tweeter, or, because I've got a lot of them and I'll show you in a minute, probably the HF 1300 route with some form of super tweeter. Maybe the piezoelectrics that I've been using, because I've been getting really good results from those. So tweeter, super tweeter, off to one side, which will probably involve me redoing these baffles because these cone tweeters are on the same side. I don't really want that. But yeah, the idea is to really spend a lot of time with the crossover and control this woofer. So if it needs any correction and things like that, to really make a beautiful, warm, sounding, detailed if I can, two-way, 2.5 way. And I'm looking forward to this. So we'll take a quick look inside, and I'll show you some of the tweeter options that I've got, and yeah, I'll probably turn these around quite quickly because the cabinets are in pretty good nick, so most of it is just going to be driver integration and sprucing up the cabinets and redoing the covers, which are like a fibre board. I don't want this brace in the middle, although it probably is doing something meaningful. Yeah, we will see. One other thing, I've bought a set of empty Spendor BC1 cabinets, and I'm going to build myself a pair of BC1s. I did have a pair, sold them quite a while ago, which I sort of regret because they were a lovely pair. So I'm going to build another one, clone the crossover. I have a BC1 driver, I think it's the blue Alnico version don't know. Anyway, enough for me to get some more measurements off of, because I get a lot of woofers from Spendle speakers here needing repairs. 9 times out of 10 it's cone sag or tinsel wire rot, like I had on those BC2s, and it strikes me that the Super Tweeters and the HF1300s hold up quite well. You can buy the Super Tweeters new anyway, there's plenty of HF1300s out there, but the woofers are the problem. I've done conversions with the KEF B200 which work really well, but I want to make something that is a new woofer that will fit. These are the 8-inch woofers I'm using in my HA38 design, which is the same size as a BC1. I mean, these are lovely 8-inch woofers, they really are, and they have a 5-hole stud pattern, which is what the BC1 uses. I don't know yet whether these are the same measurements, whether this will just drop in. If it does, then I want to work with this, with the BC1 crossover and some form of correction network or a retrofit crossover. So there is a replacement woofer option for the BC1 and the BC2. Yeah, also I'll talk about it when I get the cabinets. I've got another idea as well. Anyway, we're looking at these, not those. Right, so I have a storeroom which is part of my garage, but I also keep a load of stuff in this cupboard. A load of VEFA 100mm paper cone mid-woofers, which I'm using on a certain line of speakers I'm working on. A load of ribbons I use for my HA series. A load of Ciaz tweeters I use for those. I've got quite a number of these as well. But what I'm thinking of doing with the Melton 2s is possibly using something like this. So a little, that's got to be 40 or 50mm cone tweeter, mid tweeter, because I can then use that big 11-inch woofer to play up to, let's say, 1000 hertz, and then pick it up with this. Not a desirable area to cross over really, but this might be a lovely thing to use. Mounted from behind like the woofers are in those, and then I would probably use that because I can afford to play this up really high as well, and then I would probably couple it with like one of these piezoelectric super tweeters. Use these in my Celef PE1s, worked out amazingly. That would be a good looking combination. I could go down the route of the HF1300 16 ohm version. Got a load of 4 ohms that I want to use up. Maybe I could use 2 of them and stack them. Again with Cole Super Tweeter. Got a load of these as well, so that would be nice as a combination. But you know, I'm using this a lot. I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. But you can cross this fairly low, so it would be a good thing to do with that woofer. Also got a load of the square bezels and the 4 ohms as well. Smaller motor, smaller magnet. These still are good. Not as good as the 16 ohm, but they're still a good tweeter. I have a load of these QTX tweeters, which I really like. I've used these in a load of projects. You can cross these quite low. They're a 26mm sort of fabric dome. You can cross those nice and low, so that would work. But again, I'd probably add a super tweeter. These do roll off up the top. yeah, I don't know. Lots of options. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit at the moment. Right, let's see if we can get into these and see what's going on. I've just cut my finger. Quality. Yeah, cabinet dimensions. Probably a bit small for this woofer, which is why when I was running the test tones earlier, there wasn't much in the way of bass extension. I can probably force a bit more out of them at the expense of sensitivity, which I'm not worried about doing. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. So they are 21 inches high, 53.5 centimeters, 37 centimeters wide, 14.5 inches, and 10.25 deep, 26 centimeters. Right. As these are rear mounted and you can't take off the back, I'm assuming we undo all these screws and the whole baffle will come out. Screw missing. Teeny screws. So the cabinets are probably too small to port to get some more bass out of this, but I'm not particularly worried about that. Right. Yeah. Okay, let's clip this off. So in our cabinet we have a load of sound deadening just thrown in there. Nothing on the cabinet walls to deaden or control them. So we will line them with probably bituminous felt and then foam. But yeah, we're starting with a fairly decent cabinet. Nicely built. Right, let's have a look at this then. So nice big 12-inch woofer, 11-inch woofer, quite stiffly sprung. Nice. I think you've got to say that's 12-inch, really. Yeah, in really good condition. Rubber's good. Very stiff actually. Okay, yeah, that shouldn't be that stiff. So when we clean and treat that, spider's okay. So yeah, I'm sure once we take some of the stiffness out of this rubber, that bass extension will improve. There's our little mid tweeter. It's got its own little pod and our little crossover. So what have we got going on? Positive and negative in. I reckon we've got one inductor for our woofer, just a first order, rolling the top of it off, and then I would say here we have a second order high pass on our tweeter. Simple as that, really. Yeah, 3/4 of an inch plywood. Yeah, I think we're going to turn these into something decent. Right, that's part one. Part two later.